Alright, how's it going? This is a backpacking YouTube channel, and today I'm going to talk about the California Scooter Company San Gabriel Cafe Racer 250 street style motorcycle, which I'm sitting on right here. And if you're watching this video because you're a backpacker and a camper and you're wondering why I would talk about a motorcycle on a backpacking YouTube channel, it's because this bike is so lightweight that you can put it on the back of the Honda Fit or the Toyota Prius. So the towing capacity of these camper cars is 2,000 pounds, and the amount of weight that you can put on the back bumper, which is called the tongue weight, is 15% of the towing capacity. So 15% of 2,000 is 300. This motorcycle weighs less than 300 pounds. So I can literally put this bike on the back of the Honda Fit or the Toyota Prius. I've got this Toyota Prius here that I bought for 3,000 bucks off of Craigslist, and this motorcycle brand new is listed at $2,200. However, I spent $3,700 on mine because it's got some awesome handlebars that I put on there. And it also goes faster than usual because I had the bike modified. I also bought a year warranty. The Prius also ended up costing me a lot more than 3,000 bucks because the catalytic converter was stolen. And I just bought a new catalytic converter from Toyota for $2,000. And the brakes cost $1,000. So, you know, I paid like I paid twice as much for the Prius, and ended up paying about twice as much for the bike also. I just went in for my first 500-mile tune-up, the initial service at the motorcycle mechanic, and the bike is running awesome, but that cost about $300. So I got this bike on the road for $4,000, and the list price is $2,200, so I paid more or less double for the bike. And that's just one huge thing about the difference between car camping and backpacking. If you're able to go backpacking without a car, you know, the best gear on earth, which seems expensive, like $700 sleeping bags and $700 DCF shelters, tents, and stuff like that. That stuff is actually really, really inexpensive in comparison to car camping. I mean, one trip to the mechanic can cost more than the most expensive tent in the world. So, you know, it does bring to light, you know, the cost of adventure. You know, all this stuff costs money. And this is the cheapest I could go. This is the cheapest and lightest that I could go with all of this stuff. Now, if you're really interested in this motorcycle, if you just want to know about the CSC SG250, what I can tell you, the big positive, the big plus about this bike is that everybody loves it. It looks awesome, and I get compliments from greenhorns. You know, people who don't know a lot about motorcycles, or maybe people who do know a lot about motorcycles, people just love the way that the bike looks. It does look like a 1986 MTV Joan Jett or John Cougar Mellencamp rock video motorcycle. People love the retro style. It doesn't really have a definitive Roman cafe style. It doesn't look like an Italian motorcycle. It kind of looks like a mini chop, like a mini cruiser. And people just love like the street style, like Harley kind of look that it has. And when you park the bike next to Harleys and Ducatis, people who don't know a lot about motorcycles, they can't really tell the difference as far as like looking at it. It looks, you know, like a mini replica of an awesome Harley, 700cc Harley or Ducati. And that's really the positive aspect of it, is that people think the bike looks cool, and I get compliments all the time. You know, kids, teenagers, adults, other motorcycle riders, motorcycle mechanics, everybody who I show the bike to loves it, you know, and that's kind of like the big bonus. The downside of the bike, there's two downsides. The bike doesn't have a lot of power. So the bike is designed to go straight. It's a street style cruiser, but it really only goes about 45 miles an hour because it's a one-cylinder engine. And it's loud, it's noisy. The other big downside of this bike is just that there's a huge learning curve going from a dirt bike to a street bike. You know, street bike cruisers, they go straight, whereas dirt bikes are designed to pivot left and right. On a dirt bike, you're able to put your seat right behind the handlebars and really lean like 90 degrees and turn sharp, you know, right and left, and do Uber Eats and kind of weave in between traffic and go up steps and onto the sidewalk and stuff like that. This bike does not do any of that stuff. There's a huge learning curve, and it took me about 400 miles before I really started to feel familiar with the bike. Also, the bike did ride a lot better. It handled much better after I got it back from its initial service. The bike stalls out a lot. When I pull up to stoplights, stop signs, or in traffic, the bike will stall out. Sometimes the bike will only start with the clutch open. Sometimes the bike will only start with the clutch closed. Sometimes the bike will only start in neutral. I've never been in an experience where the bike wouldn't start. I always was able to figure out a way to get the bike started, but sometimes it takes about 5 to 10 minutes, especially in the morning, to get the bike started. Also, the bike gets really spicy or maybe like sketchy above 55 miles an hour. The bike does go like 63, maybe 75 miles an hour, but it gets really dicey and sketchy, you know, as you add speed. Before I got the initial service, sometimes it would slow down from like 63 miles an hour down to 55 or 50, like in 1 second. If I just took my hand off the throttle for a second, it would slow like down like 10 miles. Sometimes it would slow down from 55 miles an hour all the way down to like 39 miles an hour, like in 1 second and stuff like that. So it's not really like a freeway bike.